Bienvenido al robot económico. Si mañana te despertaras y perdieras todo lo que has logrado, desde dinero, ascensos, contratos, ¿qué harías? ¿Serías capaz de afrontarlo? Para la mayoría, la idea de perderlo todo es simplemente aterradora y, seguramente, el final de su carrera. Sin embargo, en la vida de un emprendedor, esta es una batalla diaria. Robert Kiyosaki, el autor del famoso libro Padre Rico, Padre Pobre, no solo sabe lo que se siente, sino que ha estado exactamente en esa situación.
You wake up tomorrow morning and you're on the street. And you have nothing, you don't have a single contact in your network. All you have is the knowledge and experience that you've had throughout your career. How do you build up from there?
Well, I've been there many times. So it's no big deal. You just figure out what's needed and wanted and you go do it. Entrepreneurs have one thing in common. They keep going. They'll change the rules. They'll reinvent the rules. You know, they don't just take one answer. So a real entrepreneur, it really makes no difference which country you're in. Entrepreneur is a mindset first, a skill set, and rules. And depending upon whether you're an employee or a small business, the rules are different. The mindsets are different. The skill sets are different.
Robert cree que para ser el empresario que estás destinado a ser, tienes que entender que debes estar dispuesto a aceptar los altibajos y estar constantemente aprendiendo para seguir adelante.
So I look at life as learning. I'm constantly learning. I'm reading constantly, studying constantly. I spend most of my time with entrepreneurs. I don't spend my time with people who complain about the economy. So nothing will really change. I just go back to being an entrepreneur.
El espíritu emprendedor puede ser algo extremadamente complicado, pero puede ayudar a la persona media a hacerse más fuerte en los ámbitos financieros, con la facilidad que hay hoy en día para acceder a ellos. Así que la pregunta aquí es, ¿cómo puede alguien adquirir conocimientos financieros? ¿Qué hace falta para conseguir un flujo de caja positivo? Y lo más importante, ¿qué se necesita para hacerse rico? En este vídeo te daré algunos de los mejores consejos y trucos que Robert Kiyosaki ofrece para alcanzar tus objetivos financieros. Primer consejo, reconfigura tu cerebro. A menudo pensamos que no podemos ajustar o cambiar la forma en que funciona nuestra cabeza, pero eso no es así. Con un simple cambio de mentalidad se abre todo un nuevo mundo de infinitas posibilidades.
I want a good pension. Does that have medical benefits? That's their brain. It's them. I can't help them. They got to rewire the brain. Yeah, because the economy takes place between this year and this year. That's where the economy takes place, and in your heart and in your guts.
Segundo consejo, usa la deuda para salir adelante. Ahora, seguramente, esto te esté sonando completamente contraproducente, pero como dice Robert, tienes que tener el tipo de deuda adecuado, el que trabaja a tu favor, y no el otro, el cual solo resta.
Good debt and bad debt. Again, it goes back to the financial statement, income, expense, asset, liability. So debt falls in here. So if let's say I'm going to buy, everybody says I'm going to buy a house, and everybody says my house is an asset. That's not true. Your house is a liability. I don't care if you have no debt on it or not. A house is a liability. Same as if you have a car. Car is a liability. And the reason for that is, as we talked about earlier, the 6 words that are basics of financial education, financial intelligence: income, expense, asset, liability. And the 2 other words are cash flow. So when you look at the average person, they have a job, money comes in here, they pay for their house, and the money goes to a bank through a mortgage. So it's not an asset because the cash is flowing out, so it's a liability. So the definition of liability, does it take money from your pocket? And for an asset, does it put money in your pocket? So when I have a rental property here, it puts money in my pocket. So if I live in the house, it's a liability, because even if I have no debt on it, I still have taxes, depreciation, repairs, and upkeep, insurance, and all this. When I rent a property, I've done a good job buying it and structuring it. Every month it sends me money. So I started off when I was 25, I had a little 1-bedroom condo. And it put $25 in my pocket. was a start. So this was good debt. You see, the debt also went out and paid, but it also put $25 in my pocket. So net, I was making money from my little house. So today, my wife and I own 6,500 of them. And every month, 6,500 houses put money in my pocket. My people who live in them love me and all this because they have a place to live. But all of this comes from debt.
Tercer consejo, busca mentores. Uno de los consejos de los que más se habla, pero uno de los más importantes que existen, es tener un mentor que pueda guiarte en los momentos difíciles, ayudarte a entender tu campo y guiarte para que te conviertas en lo mejor que puedas ser. Esta es una parte esencial para tener éxito.
My Sunday school teacher is a young, pretty woman, and she said, I'm like 9. And she goes, why were the 3 wise men wise? I go, because they were rich. They gave the swaddling Jesus gold, frankincense, and myrrh. So they had to be rich guys, I said.
And the commodities as well.
Yeah, good idea. And she goes, no, that's not it. I said, well, they had gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Well, that's not it. I said, why were they wise? And I went, I don't know. She says, what made them wise was they always sought the best teacher. And she says, if you're going to be successful in your life, you've got to find the best teachers.
Cuarto consejo, no trabajes por el dinero. Esto suena completamente fuera de lugar en un vídeo que habla de cómo hacerse rico y obtener éxito. No se puede ser rico sin dinero, ¿verdad? Bueno, en realidad, la razón por la que no tienes éxito financiero podría ser porque estás demasiado centrado en él.
But when I make $1 million, I keep $1 million. And the reason is because I don't make it by working for money. See, if you work for money, you're taxed. So that's why lesson number 1 in Rich Dad, Poor Dad is the rich don't work for money. What we do instead is we create businesses as entrepreneurs. We acquire real estate. I don't invest in the stock market. Okay. So the reason is because as entrepreneurs, I have more control over my income, how much I make, and how much I pay in taxes. And because I'm an entrepreneur as well as an investor in real estate, I pay 0 tax. So every time I make, let's say, $1 million as an entrepreneur, I immediately invested in real estate and I have a 4-to-1 step up. So I put $1 million in real estate, I get $4 million from the bank. That's why I love banks. But the banks are screwing everybody else, terrible, but it's good for me.
Después de este chute de motivación, da el paso y puede que en algún momento lo consigas. Un saludo y un hasta luego.